Hi everyone, Amber here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to day one of my Bambi's Birthday Bash series here on YouTube. This is going to be a 7-day series leading up to my birthday with a new paper crafting video coming out every day. So be sure to stay tuned for the next 6 videos over the next 6 days. But to start the series off in this video, I will be sharing with you guys how to create these adorable chipboard box books. So you can see here I already have 2 made. For the project I'm making, I will need a third, so I'm going to show you how to make that. To start, you will need 3 pieces of chipboard. Your 2 covers will measure 4 by 4 inch and your spine will measure 1.5 by 4 inches. To wrap your chipboard, you will need a piece of paper that measures 5 by 11 inches. I am using a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 11, and I'm just going to cut the excess paper off once I have my chipboard laid down. So to start, I'm taking one of my cover pieces and I'm adding it to my paper in such a way that I have 1/2 inch of paper left over on the side and the bottom. Then I'm going to add my spine piece and I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between my 2 chipboard pieces, and then I will add my last cover. I am using some 1/4 inch double-sided tape to adhere these to the paper. Once that is done, I am going to take my trimmer and just trim off the excess paper so that I have about 1/2 inch or so of paper left over. If you used the 5 by 11 inch piece of paper, then you don't have to do any trimming. So now I am making sure that all of my pieces are stuck down in place, and then I'm going to use my scoring tool to just score along the edges of my chipboard just so it will be easier to fold up all of my panels when the time comes. Now I'm cutting off all 4 of my corners, leaving about 1/8 inch or so of paper left over. And then I am going to fold up on all of my panels I now have. I just like to pre-fold these so that when it comes time to adhere them down, they are already kind of molded into the shape they will need to be. So now I'm going to add a strip of my 1/4 inch double-sided tape to all 4 of my panels. You can use a wet glue if you want for this part. I just like double-sided tape because it's quick and it's not messy. Now that my tape is in place, I'm going to make sure it's smooth, and then I will start with the long sides of my paper. So I just remove the backing of the tape, and then you can see that I start in the middle and then I just work my way outward and downward to adhere the rest of the paper into place. And then I'm going to move on to the short sides. So for these, since we have a little bit of excess paper, we are going to use our scoring tool or a pencil to tuck in those corners a bit. This will just give us a nicer, neater look on our corners and they won't be as sharp. So I'm going to do that for this side as well. And then I'm going to fold that over and it will be time to move on to adding the lining of our book. But first I'm going to do some stitching off camera. I'm just going to add some gold stitching around the edges of my base, and then I'm going to take the lining of my paper, which measures 3 7/8 of an inch by 9.5 inches, and I'm going to remove all of the backing of all of this tape. You can see that I added a whole bunch. I like to use a lot of adhesive for this step just because it helps to avoid any air bubbles. And in case you're wondering, all of the measurements for this project can be found on my blog. That will be linked down below in the description box, just so you can follow along easier and have the measurements written out for you. So now I have added the lining to my base and I'm making sure that it's nice and stuck down. Then I'm going to just fold up on my covers, crease the fold line, and now it's time to add a closure. So you can totally use a ribbon or some twine to keep your book closed, but I am opting to make a closure out of some paper. So I'm going to create a buckle This paper measures 1/2 inch by 1.5 inches, and I am scoring both ends of that at 3/8 of an inch, and then I'm going to fold those little panels over. My strap will measure 1/2 inch by 12 inches, and I'm going to take my 1/4 inch double-sided tape, and using my other book I've already made as a template, I'm going to add this tape down the middle of the entirety of my book base. And then I am going to just smooth that out and make sure it's nice and stuck down. And I'm showing you here, we're just going to wrap the strap all around the book, and we will have a little bit left over to tuck into the buckle. So now I'm adding some of my tape to the back of those panels that we folded over on the buckle, and I'm going to add the buckle itself to the front cover of my book base. And I'm doing this while leaving about 1/4 of an inch or so on the edge. Then I am just going to adhere that down, tuck my strap in a little bit, and then carefully, as best I can, to keep it straight, just adhere the strap to the base of the book. I'm going to remove the tape a little bit at a time and just add this to the base, and I'm going to pinch around the corners and try to keep everything nice and even so that the strap end will match up nicely with the buckle. So you can see here that we will just be folding the strap into the buckle, and this will keep it closed. Sometimes you have to use something to puff up the buckle a bit so the strap can actually go inside. But once that is done, it's ready to move on to the box part. So for the box, you will need a piece of paper that measures 6¼ inch by 6¼ inch, and you're going to score it at 1¼ inch on all 4 sides. Then you're just going to fold up on those score lines. If you have followed some of my tutorials before, this will look very familiar. We are just making a paper box. So now that I have folded up on all of my score lines, I'm going to turn the squares in each corner into a tab by cutting up on the score line, like so, to separate them from the rest of the panel. And then I'm cutting at a slight diagonal just to turn it into a tab so that it's easier to adhere the box together. Then once I've done that, I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of my template, which will be the bottom of the box. Since I am using double-sided tape, I'm doing this step now just because it's easier to add the adhesive to the box now than later when it's all assembled. If you are using a different adhesive, then you can wait on this part for now. So now I'm going to assemble the box by flipping all 4 of my tabs inwards, and then I'm going to add 3 pieces of my 1/4 inch double-sided tape to each tab. And then I am going to remove the backing from all of the tape on all of my tabs all at once. That just makes it easier for me, at least, to assemble the box. You don't have to stop to remove tape or anything like that while you're actually assembling your box. So I just like to remove it all at once. And then to assemble this, all you want to do is tuck the tab in to the panel next to it on the inside and just secure it down. And do that for all 4 of your tabs, and then your box is ready to go. So I am going to remove the backing from all of my tape on the bottom of my box, and then I am going to just adhere it to the right side of the inside of my book. So to do this, I'm just going to take my time and try to line it up as nicely as I can. Make sure when you do this part not to put it too close to the fold line of your book, otherwise it will catch. But once you have it in place, you just want to smooth it out and make sure that it's nice and secure. And that is the base of your book done. So super quick project. I made 3 of these books to turn them into a little stack of books that I could use for some storage in my craft room, and I think it turned out so cute. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did and you do decide to make a project like this, I would love to see. So please feel free to tag me on Instagram at Bambi's Mail and use the hashtag Bambi's Birthday Bash so that I can see your project. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for another fun paper crafting tutorial. Take care and happy crafting. Bye.